And we've got some position battles to watch for in this 2025 edition of the Iron Bowl. And Traviot's ready to go for those position battles. Let's
Yeah, with Alabama and Auburn, of course you have to start up front in the trenches with this Alabama offensive line. They've been playing well together of late. I mean, obviously last week you can't really count that because the competition wasn't up to par, but it always starts in the trenches with Alabama and Auburn. So I'm looking for I'm looking to see if Alabama can run the ball on can establish a run game against an Auburn defensive line that ranks second in the SEC in stopping the run. Alabama has many capable backs that can do so, but it depends on can they get the rhythm in the run game. But in terms of just position battles, I'm looking at can how can Todd Simpson attack that how can Todd Simpson attack the Tigers secondary that's that's been susceptible to giving a bunch of explosive plays up. I mean, Alabama has the playmakers on the outside from a Jeremy Bernard to a Ryan Williams to a Isaiah Horton and Lotzir Brooks and players of that nature. They have the weaponry outside, but can they take advantage of those matchups and really win over the top? Because that's something that Alabama's been struggling with over the second half of the season. We haven't been seeing a lot of explosive plays, but there are some openings in that Auburn secondary where Alabama can take advantage. So my first position matchup would just, like I said, it would just be how can Alabama get push up front with their offensive line to uh, try to not be staggered in the run game and create a serviceable run game so that they can get some of those get some of those openings to open up in the Auburn secondary, and they can take advantage of those matchups they have outside on the offensive side of the ball.
Kyle, what are the position battles to watch for in your eyes?
I hate to just kind of be a little bit boring here too, but for me at least be boring. But I got to agree with what he just said, just the opposite way. Um, Auburn's known for their defense this year and had just an abysmal offense until changes were made at the head coach. And for 2 games, at least, it looks pretty good. Um, the defensive line for Auburn is what exactly what you think it is. They have held some of the best rushing attacks to keeping them in check, if not stifling them completely. So I think that's a big question mark. But for me, it's the same story that has happened no matter who the opponent is for Auburn over the last 5 to 6 years. Can Alabama exploit Auburn's offensive line? The question or the answer to that question is I don't know, because the true story about Auburn's offensive line is it's been so inconsistent. They are either really bad or really good. And maybe not even really good, just good. That's what my biggest gripe has been. Is so I think if Alabama can go after Auburn that way, Auburn's offensive line, and really fluster no matter who the quarterback is, you're going to force an Auburn to be a little bit more desperate, even more at home, especially heaven forbid there's an injury or something like that. If you get, Jackson Arnold certainly hasn't had the best year, and he has shown the ability to get a little bit flustered at times and try to do a little bit too much if he has to come back in the game. Deuce Knight obviously had a great game versus Mercer, but it's Mercer, folks. Like, let's not get overhyped here. Like, it was great. I celebrate the kid, but it was Mercer. So can Alabama exploit them, especially the middle of that offensive line? Mason Murphy moving over to center, that seems to have helped a little bit Auburn once their starting center went down, and we were trying to rotate somebody else there. So I feel a little bit better about the middle of the offensive lines, just what I've seen from him in 2 games. But I think that's the biggest thing. If they can attack the middle of that offensive line, or even just the edges, just attack the offensive line, and you might find yourself with an opportunity to really exploit Auburn's offense, even in 2 games where they've looked drastically different.
And before you come on, Jackson and Jeffrey, I think Alabama does have personnel on the defensive side of the ball to disrupt that Auburn offensive line. I mean, they have a young pass rusher in Yanze Pierre, number 42. He's come on heavily strong. He's come on strong over the second half of this season. I think he has 6 sacks in the last 8 games. So that's he's kind of molded into Alabama's best overall pass rusher. They have the return of their Wolf linebacker, Clay Rusaw, who can also be a disruptor in the middle of that Auburn offensive line, and they just also have some other they have other players like a Deontay Lawson, like a Justin Jefferson, like a Keon Keeley, other players of that nature. Forgive me if I'm leaving anybody out. I know it's a couple of others, but they have the personnel. Uh, Defensive wise, Kane Warmack has this Alabama defense playing at a high level. Like I think it's the best he's been able to get this Alabama defense to show in the past couple years, and I think that speaks a lot to the job he's done. Just with some of the past defensive coordinators he had. So, um, I I do believe that Alabama has the forces on the defensive side of the ball to kind of wreck the game, but and that's something I'm going to get to later in when we further discuss. But I'm confident in the defense that they're able to do so. For me it's gonna come down to the offense and how they're able to exploit Auburn because they like I said they have the athletes in the position areas, but can they put it all together?
There we go. And Jeffrey, what do you think will be the position battles to watch for in this 2025 edition of the Iron Bowl?
Well, I mean, quarterback's big because, I mean, you're talking about Ty Simpson's, last couple games. He's not been right. I know that a lot of people are trying to, just not worry about it, which, I mean, it's nothing you could do about it. We just got to hope for the best when it comes to Ty Simpson. But, at the end of the day, he's not been playing very well lately. I mean, the 2 picks against Eastern Illinois, the turnovers against Oklahoma. He had an elite start to the season. And his stats overall still are great, but he just hasn't looked the same the last couple of weeks. Now you're going into Jordan Hare. And the crowd, if we let Auburn stay in the game or Auburn takes the lead in the game, it's going to be crazy. And I don't know if Ty Simpson is up for that right now. I don't know where his headspace is, but he just visibly has just, to me, I'm not there, I'm not on the sidelines, in that situation, but just from watching on TV, he just doesn't look comfortable right now. Part of his O-line sometimes can be, not the greatest, but against Eastern Illinois, there were 0 issues, and he still just mistakes, and that cannot happen. We cannot turn the football over against Auburn at least more than once and expect to win. You give Auburn multiple extra possessions, you're gifting them the game. So Ty Simpson's got to be good. For Auburn, you've got Deuce Knight. I mean, yeah, as Kyle said, incredible against Mercer and just completely incredible. First play, 75-yard touchdown run. I saw it. I was like, okay, Auburn's got something there, but that was Mercer, and we destroyed Eastern Illinois. Kind of just throw them away. I mean, I give credit to Auburn for blowing out their opponent before Alabama, though, because the New Mexico State game I still will never forget was right before the Iron Bowl in 2023. Auburn lost to New Mexico State and then almost beat us. Should have beat us. So, yeah, we know Auburn's capable of a lot more and than what they show at times. And they play really good against Mercer, so they put them to rest. But, Deuce Knight, he's got to play well, obviously, if assuming he's going to be the starter. He should be. He should play against Alabama. It's like he's got to not make mistakes either. But, to me, it's going to be tougher on Ty Simpson's end because everything's to lose for Alabama. Auburn has nothing to lose. If Auburn don't make a bowl game, I don't think Auburn fans are really going to necessarily care all that much, right? Like, if Auburn was 4-7 right now, they would still want to beat Alabama just as badly and with great reason. Like, it's not going to be make or break whether they don't make a bowl game or not. It's just about beating Alabama, as it should. So, like, all Auburn's got to do is just play free, play loose, just give it 110%. Bama, you got everything to lose. not even a whole lot to gain outside of winning the game. I mean, because you win, you still can miss the playoffs. You get blown out in the SEC title game. We still got more work to do. This game, we just have to win to keep our season, afloat for the playoffs and everything. So Ty Simpson's got a lot, that he's got to overcome there. So the quarterback battle to me matters. Like if Deuce Knight outplays Ty Simpson, that's not good. That is definitely not good at all. Because, our receivers are going to play well. I'm not worried about the receivers. Our receivers are going to play well. It's just whether Ty Simpson can get the ball to him and not turn it over. And obviously, running the football, I think that we ran the ball well last week, but it was Eastern Illinois. We need to run the ball well enough. But it doesn't have to necessarily be, anywhere near the focal point of our offense. If Ty Simpson is doing great, if he gets back to early Ty Simpson in the season, we can win because our passing attack is potent. But if he's off, then we are going to need the run game. And if our run game struggles, then we could have issues. So I think the most important player out there on the field for Alabama to win is Ty Simpson. I really do. I think that he has to play well for us to win the game.
And a point of clarification for starting, as far as I'm aware, it is going to be Ashton Daniels. Deuce Knight did great. I think they'll find a way to utilize him.
I'm shocked.
But Ashton Daniels, he actually had a pretty good couple games there before. I don't know how much you guys are aware of the situation. The only reason he didn't play in this game was because they're trying to redshirt him. I figured most people had heard about it, but just for those viewers that maybe that weren't aware of that. So Ashton Daniels, I think, showed a lot of poise. And he's not known throughout his career for that, from what I understand about his time. I'm not going to act like I'm some expert on Stanford football where he came from, but that was the talk about him. I was impressed with what I saw of the guy in just a small amount of windows. Also impressed with what I saw Deuce Knight do, but again, it's Mercer. And I know that's the overused phrase, but that's I'm a big guy about context, and I think emotions are valid, but the context is so downplayed, and that's so important in our discussions about things. And so when I push this about Deuce being overplayed a little bit and the hype around him, it's not to dissuade anybody from being excited about him. It's just, let's keep things in perspective here, folks. Great game against Mercer. I think I hope we see him in the Iron Bowl, because for the people that are always worried their star players, are they going to leave? That's a way to tell the kid, hey, you got to play in the Iron Bowl, this year, stay and you got to experience what this like. You're going to experience more of that if you stick around. So just wanted to add that a little bit on there. Unless something has changed that I missed today, Ashton Daniels should be the starter right now.
I appreciate you clarifying that. I mean, I remember Ashton Daniels at Stanford. I knew Auburn got him, and I knew he played, but I was like, hey, as good as he played, his crap team, obviously, but as good as he played, I was like, hey, that guy should be
it's good. Trust me.
That guy should be starting, in my opinion, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think that's smart, I guess, because he's got more experience, but experience doesn't always win either. I mean, we've seen sometimes just a guy that's young and hungry. I mean, look at Lagway. It's all been downhill since his peak.
He's a mess.
He was great. I said he was going to be the best quarterback coming into this year. Aged like milk. He's been awful. I only hit on Mendoza. I said Mendoza was going to be elite. I had him up there in the top 5, and no one else did, and he's been great. But my Lagway pick was trash. So I mean, Deuce Knight. I mean, he's confident right now. It could all go downhill from here. Not saying it will, but I mean, he's confident right now. So, but yeah, I mean, Ashton Daniels has the experience. But my point still stands for me that the quarterback battle is important. If Ashton Daniels or Deuce Knight or both outplay Ty Simpson, we're in bad shape, because I don't know if our run game will be enough to bail us out.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Justin. Just to really wrap up the position battles and piggyback off that point, it's just the fact that Auburn has 3 suitable quarterbacks that they can throw in at any time. So I believe that's just something else that Kane Womack and this Alabama defense has to prepare for, because as Alabama fans know, mobile quarterbacks have given Alabama issues in the past, trying to contain them. And even though Deuce Knight, he might not be a starter in this game, he still could be used in the package where he could use his legs and hurt the Alabama defense. And not to mention, he still can throw the ball. So Alabama preparing for all 3 quarterbacks, I believe that's also going to be a big part of their week and their preparation leading up to this game. So that's something that Alabama fans and Auburn fans just have to see. Just have to keep an eye out for, because we also saw Jackson Arnold last year when he was playing for Oklahoma. He ran all over Alabama, so he also has the skill set to do that too. So Alabama definitely has to keep their eyes on each quarterback. Can't take any quarterback lightly at all.
Well, and just kind of put a bow on the position battles. The offensive line of Alabama going up against the Auburn defensive line, that's going to be a position battle to watch out for. Because it's going to be, if you can put a ton of pressure on Ty Simpson, that puts Alabama in trouble. But I think Alabama can protect Ty Simpson and make sure that he's safe. He's good to go. It's not like having to deal with that Oklahoma defense. Like, nothing personal against the Auburn defense, but it's just, it's not. It's
Yeah,
that Oklahoma defense. Oof.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, they'll chew you
yeah.
up like a chicken nugget.
And kind of just wrapping up your point, Jackson. We've seen when you don't protect Todd Simpson the way that he's normally accustomed to being protected and things of that nature. We've seen with him being flustered, that kind of speeds up his timing and that leads to some of the downs where he's missing throws where things are sped up. So if Auburn can apply some type of pressure on Ty Simpson, I believe that's also a factor that can keep them around in the game. So that offensive line and defensive line, that's probably the most impactful matchup overall because I mean at the end of the day it starts up front in the trenches. So you can say it for both quarterbacks because uh, you put pressure on Deuce Knight, a young kid, a freshman. You put pressure on him more than likely he's gonna crumble. You put pressure on Jackson Darnold. We've seen he's prone to make mistakes or kind of get in his own way when you put pressure on him. You put pressure on Ashton Daniels. He's not really the runner that Deuce Knight and Jackson Arnold are. So he's prone to hold the ball longer and do things of that nature. So the position battle up front, offense and defense, Auburn and Alabama. The battle of the trenches. That I believe that's going to be a big story of the game. So yeah, that's a position battle that both fan bases can be looking out for.
For sure, man. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to bring on Saturday. And it's like can Alabama make sure that Simpson's doing all right, protected enough? I think they can. And what's going to be happening with Daniels coming in at QB? We'll definitely find out and see.